Good afternoon. An area being studied within rehabilitation is the impact of focus of attention during motor performance due to its direct influence on task training. A therapist, instructor, or coach of any kind can impact motor learning based upon the type of instructional cue they provide, whether the cue is internal or external focus. To begin, an internal focus cue has the individual focusing on the movement from their body, while an external focus cue has the individual focusing on how their movements will affect the environment. These instructional cues can be provided when learning any motor task. For example, how many of you, while sitting at home or at work, have balled up a piece of paper and tossed it across the room into a wastebasket? Yeah. When you performed this task, were you focusing on the movement and form of your arm, which would be an internal focus cue, or were you focusing on aiming the paper ball at the wastebasket, which would be an external focus cue? So my doctoral research group and I set out to determine was whether internal or external focus cues would be more beneficial for adults with a history of chronic stroke to maximize motor learning with a seated weight shifting task. So to begin, we had 12 participants with a history of chronic stroke and 12 age-matched healthy controls. The participants began by weight shifting from side to side in a seated position for a baseline assessment. They were then randomized to receive either internal focus cues, where they focused on the movement of weight shifting over their hip, or an external focus cue, where they focused on weight shifting from side to side to a target located on either side of their body. Participants were then assessed for retention with short and long-term retention trials. Originally, we hypothesized, based on past research, that the external focus cue would result in greater weight shift due to its effect on automatic processing, as compared to an internal focus cue, which would require the individual to have subconscious thought about their movement first. Our preliminary analysis revealed that the external focus cue resulted in a greater weight shift for the adults without a history of chronic stroke. However, our findings were mixed for the adults with a history of chronic stroke. Therefore, we are unable to conclude at this time whether the internal or external focus cue was most beneficial for this population. We hypothesize that this finding may have occurred due to the fact that the participants were only provided with the instructional cue during one round of an acquisition trial. Therefore, there may not have been sufficient time for motor learning to occur prior to the short and long-term retention trials. So thank you for your time.